You're listening to Infinite TBR, the podcast where we try not to buy more books. I'm Smack.
And I'm Gabby. Spoiler alert! We're going to avoid major spoilers, and when we can, warn when we're going to discuss a particular book in detail so you can avoid that part of the episode. You can also check the show notes for time-stamped flags identifying potential spoilers.
Past Gabby here with a little surprise. It is Infinite TBR's 2-year birthday, which I decided to celebrate by ordering us a set of acrylic pins with our logo on them, and I didn't tell Smack. So we're going to start this episode with me gifting it to her, and we're going to see what she thinks. Here's hoping she likes them.
Hey, Smack. Hey, Gabby.
Happy birthday!
What?
It's our 2-year anniversary!
Is it? Oh my god, we've been doing this for so long! It's adorable. Where did you...
Sticker mule, I have like 10 of them. The minimum order.
Oh my god, it's so cute! It's so cute.
First I was going to try and get an Etsy seller to do it, but the one I found wanted you to like submit an image first and then they'd like go back and forth on it a bit and then you actually do the order. And I asked if she could do it, and then she said if you change the like size of the books, like the books are too small. And I was like, but why though? And also that's way too much work. I'm just gonna do this sticker.
Here, take my design, making it happen.
Yeah.
This is so cute.
So now I have 10 of them. So I thought for this year's Anna birthday, if you email or
DM us
on a platform,
probably
like
Instagram. Yeah.
Your favorite read in the last year, and we will send you an Infinite TBR.
Teeny tiny. It's like it is teeny tiny.
It's an adorable little pin
with our logo on it.
Yes, with our logo on it. The important part of that.
It's so cute.
And basically, probably the first however many people who do that until I run out of pins.
Yeah.
So, good luck.
Get yours now.
Go quickly. Laura. Okay. And now, today.
Oh, right. Today.
So,
we live in San Diego. North Park is a neighborhood north of Balboa Park. That's the name. There are 2 whole bookstores down there. And one of them is it verbatim through the book fair?
yeah, they're like the hosts.
There was a book fair.
With
about 2.5 blocks of tents on both sides. And everybody was book people. And we had independent, self-published San Diego authors. And we had all the bookstores. Not all the bookstores. A good number of the local independent bookstores. And just books and people everywhere.
and cassettes.
That's right. And
Candles.
homemade stuff. Anything book related.
Yeah.
Rugs. That's not book related. But there was a guy.
with rugs. With rugs with faces on them that were looking at you as you walked by.
I don't remember the faces.
It was like squiggles.
Oh yeah,
like they made faces.
They were like the
It was unnerving.
Todama? Is that what they're called? The one in the Miyazaki story where they tilt their head and it goes pop.
What are you talking about?
Faces you just made. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Which Miyazaki?
I don't know. It might have.
Maybe
I want to say
haven't
Spirited
seen
Away,
that
but
one.
I think it was Princess Mononoke.
I haven't seen Princess Mononoke. So
That would do it. Okay. I'm not totally crazy. Also, I haven't seen Princess Mononoke since I was in, like, middle school, so
I was
could be
waiting.
completely wrong.
I kept waiting for the next thing out of your mouth to clarify it and make my brain understand it. Everything was like, no, I'm even more confused than I was.
See it. And I was trying to find the right words, but literally every time I added more, you looked more confused.
Good time.
Yeah.
So we went to his book fair, and I was thinking, like, I knew Mysterious Galaxy would have a stand.
Right.
I knew Miki would have a stand.
Yeah.
But I was like, we go there all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be cute to see them and say
Get a
hi.
book to,
Get
like,
a book, yeah, to
support
them,
them.
whatever. The whole fair was much more dangerous than I thought it was going to be.
spent more at this book fair than I did at book crawl.
I definitely didn't spend as much
That's
as I
because you spent
at
a fortune at book crawl. But, like, I came home with so many... You know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I showed up. I was a little later than Gabby. She brought me a donut. It was amazing. But I showed up. I didn't even find her. She found me and slides this, like, felt book cover into my hand. And it says The Bookish Box, which is a book subscription service. We have no idea if it's related. It probably is. But I flicked open the little button and I pulled out the book, and it is the most gorgeous special edition hardcover of A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, which, if you will recall, was in one of our very first episodes, me freaking out about how much I loved this book. And it caught on, and they re-released an edition through Barnes & Noble. Now there's this gorgeous, lots of, it's like bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gold foil, but like, everything's shiny, and the pages have these, like, not fleur-de-lis, but like one of those fancy,
That kind of vibe.
sort of like wallpaper vibe, but like, oh my god. And then you pull out the dust jacket, and the inside of the dust jacket has more gold foil, not gold, foil, and the hardcover bit has foil.
We'll add
and
pictures to our
oh
show
my
notes.
God, I'm just
so you can see this is
losing
all
my
of its
mind.
glory.
And all these, like, really great choice excerpts. Yeah. Love makes monsters of us. A gift, a life without laws, without limits. The choice is yours. I love this book so much. It's so gorgeous. The cover is incredible. I am losing my mind. And all I could do when she handed it over was just keep saying, oh my god. There were no other words in my head. It was the most exciting thing on the planet.
I had been doing a lap just to, like, scope everything out, and I definitely wasn't planning to purchase anything. Definitely not before you showed up, if at all. And then saw this booth, and the woman running it was like, oh, you know, it's just some, like, very specific fan thing. And, you know, they had, like, some popular titles there that are around. I don't remember any off the top of my head because I was immediately distracted in the background by that gorgeous copy of A Dowry of Blood. And then I was like, well, now I have to get that because I know you had been talking about the new edition.
I'm so glad you did. Hello.
And I was like, I sure hope this is okay.
It was amazing.
Yay.
I'm like sitting here fondling it. I'll put pictures on our Instagram page, and when the show notes go up, I'll link those.
So we figured we'd just go ahead and go through our embarrassing hauls for the day.
This is not how I thought my day would go.
Oh, and then Smack retaliated later when we ended up in front of the very same stall with a really gorgeous hardcover
Special edition from Fairy Loot, which is a different book subscription service.
Right.
And Fairy Loot is known for their, like, fancy special editions.
And this one is The City of Dusk by Tara.
Yep.
She wrote the Timekeeper trilogy, which I've read the first two, and I really enjoyed those. I still haven't read the third one.
Really?
I need to go back and reread all of them,
yes.
so I just haven't done that yet. And I own them, so when am I ever going to get around to that?
There's no pressure.
And then she did Scavenge the Stars, which is the gender-flipped Count of Monte Cristo retelling. And then this City of Dusk, which is some sort of, I think her first adult.
It's got black
trilogy.
Sprayed edges.
Oh, yeah. And
it has a ribbon bookmark
it has a silver
attached.
ribbon bookmark attached, and it has this beautiful, like, skull floral design on the inside, and then, like, gold foil of the same motif
so pretty.
On the actual, under the dust jacket on the cover. It's gorgeous, and now I'm unfortunately locked into this aesthetic for ever. For the other two. And now I'm even more concerned because there's a price stamp in here that says £14.99, which...
14 pounds? That's like nothing.
Yes. I'm confused.
And
also, like, how am I going to get the other two from the UK?
You have to subscribe to Fairy Loot.
Right. But
they don't always tell you beforehand what
does
book
it have
it's
to
gonna
be Fairy Loot?
I don't know.
UK
Do you know who would know?
version?
Tara Sim. We will reach out.
Supplicate. Be like, God, first one, I really need them all to match. Please give me
She's
the
probably got
insights.
an inbox full of that.
Yeah. So I have to either resign myself to a trilogy not matching or hope that I hate it. So that then it'll just sit on my bookshelf being beautiful forever, and I won't feel compelled to get the other two.
What is it about? Do you know? On the back it says, for every city there's a god, and for every god there's an heir. But that's vibes, not...
Right. There are 4 realms, life, death, light, and darkness.
Okay.
Ruled by 4 noble houses, and the gods have withdrawn their favor. So all the realms are dying, and the 4 heirs, and they have the 4 characters, will sacrifice everything to save the city, but their defiance will cost them dearly.
No one is safe.
Nobody is safe. Something dark magic, vengeful gods, rebellious chosen ones.
The good stuff.
Yeah. The good stuff and probably the stressful stuff.
Because it's the first.
Yeah, it's the first.
You should read it before the second one comes out, though.
Should I?
Yeah, because then you know if you need...
That's a good point. Because it's been so long since this came out, I was sure that it was a standalone until today. So I didn't think it mattered when I picked it up, but I guess now it matters.
Oh, no.
I wonder what the sequel's going to be called. The City of... Well, so the problem now is that it's 4 realms.
Oh, no! It's going to be a quartet.
No, it definitely says a trilogy.
Okay,
the first in a
that's
trilogy.
helpful.
But I feel like... I guess City of Dusk is all 4.
So they'll do Dusk, Midnight, Dawn.
You know what's up.
Well, they should. I have no idea if they'll take my advice, but...
Tara Sim, look here. Listen to Smack.
I don't think she has any control over that.
Long-time listener. Tara Sim. Okay, so those were our special presents to each other.
Yes. I'm just freaking losing my mind. So, there was that, and then we went to the Mysterious Galaxy booth.
Mm-hmm. And I got nothing because I was very pointedly like, I'm going to spend money everywhere else.
I went to check out, and they talked to her as if, like, they're very close acquaintances. Also at the Meet Cute booth. Or no, not the Meet Cute booth. At the Meet Cute store.
Yes. I didn't realize they had started remembering. I don't know if it's because I'm in there so often, or if it's because I spend so much money when I do go in.
Oh, so they
like,
take note
do I
of you?
stand out because I spend so much? Or do I spend a normal amount and I just go in there too often?
It sounds like both. Like, if you're in there regularly, spending lots of money, yes, that makes you a regular. Yes, they might remember your name every time they have to look you up in the system. There are worse things. So I spent a fortune. I meant to, I knew they had, because Mysterious Galaxy, this is their 30th anniversary.
Woo!
Yay, Mysterious Galaxy. And they have all this
birthday.
great, they have tote bags, and they have shirts, and they have all sorts of fun stuff. And so I was like, oh, I'll get a tote bag.
I'm waiting for them to come out with enamel pins.
Right? They had enamel pins on their 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Mine fell off at an airport. I know, it's so sad. It makes me sad every time I think about it. Anyway, moving on.
This is not a sad day.
So I picked up a tote bag, and then I happened to look down and saw Lavender House by Lev. Mm-hmm. Is Lev A.C. Rosen? Is that 3 words?
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus
Levac Rosen?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure it's AC.
Okay. The font is apparently a little weird, but
is it?
Well, enough that I can't tell.
Oh, right.
Anyway, Lavender House. Lavender has always been like historically associated with queerness and gayness, and so a lavender house in this context is a house. Are those bloodstained stuff?
I can't tell
It's
if
a murder
floral
mystery.
or bloodstain.
It's a murder mystery, and everyone's queer, and the cover is gorgeous, and there's an illustration on the inside, and it might be flowers, and it might be blood, and we can't tell. Which is just the perfect vibe.
I think he genre hops a lot, too.
Oh, really?
I think
So I saw that one,
Anyway,
and then I was like,
very excited about that one, too. Oh, you ended up getting...
Yes. Snatched up Lavender House, and then I looked down, I was like, oh, well, if I'm gonna get one book, I should make sure, like, I'm not missing anything good, and I found The Enchanted Hacienda by J.C. Cervantes.
Which is kind of Encanto vibes.
Yes. I think the pitch was Encanto for adults. Yeah. And it's signed.
Ooh, I didn't realize it was signed, too.
I think this might be their first adult. Is this adult? I don't know.
I think it's in the adult section at the
twists, romance, and a heavy sprinkle of magic. Captivating coming-of-age debut exploring identity, unconditional family love, and uncovering the magic within us all. There's like flower magic and curses and complicated family stuff, which is my jam.
I'm excited that you got that and you can vet it first, because
Yes.
I remember seeing it being like, I could either really love this or be really stressed out.
Not dislike it, just be really
Yes,
stressed.
yeah. I just prefer knowing, going in, which it's gonna be.
Yeah. So it was like 10, 15 minutes, and I suddenly had 3 books in a tote bag.
The very beginning.
Yeah. It went downhill from there. Because I was like, okay, we need to leave the Mysterious Galaxy bar. I'll keep spending money.
Right.
And so we wandered away, but everyone was selling books. So,
For some reason, everyone was selling books at the book fair. It honestly was like, maybe, remember the Scholastic book fairs? Back
it was
when we were
close
kids?
to that in an adult form.
Yes, I felt the same level
of like excitement
joy.
and joy.
Yeah.
It was nice. I realized, look at this, I am so sunburned.
I should have given you my sunscreen, because as soon as the sun came out...
I forgot. I mean, I sunscreened everywhere else.
Yeah. I had my flannel on when I first showed up, because it was cool enough. And I was like, this is going to be fine for the rest of the day. And as soon as the sun came out...
It was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day, but I was like, and like the amount of time we're already spending at the Mysterious Galaxy booth, I was like, okay, I need to put sunscreen on. So
yeah, so I managed everywhere, but like
I'm sure
the back of my shoulders.
Somewhere. The other day, I mean yesterday, I know I missed.
Oh no!
I missed a strip here and a strip there.
But like your skin's a little darker, so
yes,
you don't get
so
that
a bit
like
of a buffer.
Tomato thing going
no, not
on.
usually, and it usually doesn't hurt. Usually it skips to tan, and I don't get the sunburn in between.
Son of a bench!
I think once I've gotten like,
oh my god.
Oh, I see why everyone hates this sunburn.
Jesus Christ.
So, and I do try to be more careful with
I
the
try to be
sunscreen.
careful. I'm very careful with my tattoos.
Right.
I don't want that sunburned.
And I grew up in Arizona, which I forget whether it's number 1 or number 2 behind Australia for leader in skin cancer in the world.
Jesus.
So, use sunscreen, audience. This is your public health.
Another PSA
Another
from Infinite
PSA.
TBR. We should get paid for these, man.
We should.
Contact the county. Anyway, so then we went to...
Did you end up getting anything? There was like a used...
I did get a used...
Okay, there was a used bookstall.
So I got Act Your Age, Eve Brown, because I own the first 2 on the e-reader.
That's by Talia.
By Talia Hibbert. And she does...
The first one is
like,
Get a Life, Chloe Brown?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
It's a trilogy of sisters.
Yeah.
Falling in love.
They seem very cute.
Yeah. And so...
And you liked the first 2, right?
I actually haven't read the first 2.
Oh.
But I've read like 3 of her other books.
Oh,
that I really
okay.
enjoyed.
I think maybe my sister-in-law read.
She has
Get a Life.
one, I can't remember what it's called, but she has one where it's like this autistic grump and a sunshine guy, and it was just so nice. I loved them. Hold on, let me look it up and figure out what it's called.
We got you. We're looking it up.
I
New
can't
issue?
get this stupid piece of shit to work. Thank you. A Girl Like Her. A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert. It's a grumpy autistic girl and her sunshine neighbor. So freaking cute.
Just to say want to read on that. Okay. Do you have that one?
Yes, it's an ebook.
Dang it! The worst is when you say that happily enough that I think that means you have.
That's why I do that.
I knew. Okay.
Anyway, so I got the third of the Brown sisters, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which, don't act your age. Acting your age is for adults.
Like lame adults.
Yeah.
Adults deprecating.
And I also, the other day, my mother and I had been reading these paranormal ghost stories.
Yeah.
And we have blown through all of these things. And so, and with the writer's strike, nobody's watching TV.
Yeah.
So
we're all reading.
Everybody's reading. But like she came into the office where I was working the other night and was like, "Do you have anything that isn't fantasy?" And I sort of record scratched a little. And then I was like, surely in all of these piles.
Surely. Somewhere in here.
And so since then I've thought of a couple that aren't in this room where I work all the time. But I also want to be able to be like, of course, I read all sorts of books.
I am well read.
So I found, we had some trouble deciding if it was fiction or nonfiction. It's The Dead Duke, His Secret Wife, and the Missing Corpse by Pugh Mary Eatwell.
I think we landed on it's nonfiction, but told as if it is fiction.
And there are like photos of black and white.
Oh, there are notes.
I don't know if
There are.
In the back?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
So it's true.
Something
It's
about
nonfiction. I don't know. I know I've read the back.
It looks really interesting.
Yeah. I knew I looked at the whole...
Only read fantasy. That's not true, but
it's not true, but you've
effectively
embraced
true.
that.
Yeah.
The subtitle is An Extraordinary Edwardian Case of Deception and Intrigue. And I was like, I bet my mother would like that.
There we go.
I could offer her a book that's not fantasy.
I will laugh if you're like, what about this one? And she's like,
I promise you that's what's going to happen. I was so hopeful at the book fair, but now I'm like, no.
Okay.
Whatever. I still think it's cool.
Surely one of the three of us will be entertained.
My dad might read it.
Surely one of the four of us will be entertained. Maybe Laura, our number one fan Laura, will be interested.
Perhaps.
That seems like something she might dip in.
My dad's been reading Why We Sleep. I can't remember who it's by. My dad reads a lot of nonfiction. And a lot of the time he sources them.
If you look it up on Goodreads, the autofill is this what you're looking for? Starts with Why We Sleep, which I assume is the one he's actually reading. Why We Can't Sleep. And then Women's New Midlife Crisis. Why Can't We Sleep? It's a different book. And then Summary, Why We Sleep, which is a speed summary of the very first entry.
Good lord.
I just thought that was funny.
Very niche.
But okay, so Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams is by Matthew Walker. Specifically, I should say, because apparently it's on the cover, Matthew Walker, PhD.
Yeah, it does say that on the cover. And so, when I bought it at the time, I'd been, I've always had insomnia. And, when I was 4 or 5, my parents sent me to a shrink because they wanted me to learn how to sleep.
Sleep school!
I'm a little vague on the details because I was so young, but, I don't think it helped a whole lot.
The results don't seem too promising.
Yeah. So, I was very frequently sleep deprived when I bought that book, and I fully intended to be like, how do I fix myself? But I never got around to reading it, and it ended up on our house's nonfiction shelf in the guest room. And he just...
My shelf.
Yes, and Gabby's. It's the G room. It started out as my brother Gavin's, and then Gabby lived there for a while, and now it's the guest room. Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's been really interesting to watch him pick books on his own, because he doesn't read a whole lot. He reads a couple of books a year. He read how civil wars start. Because I was like, I am very interested, and he was apparently feeling fatalistic.
That one is by
That one's by a UCSD professor.
Barbara F. Walter.
Yes, Barbara F. Walter. But now he's reading Why We Sleep, and he's really excited about everything he's learning. He keeps, like, telling us tidbits and stuff. It's adorable.
That is really cute.
It's a really... And like, they're interesting, too. We were talking about, like, why daylight saving sucks.
Don't get me started.
That's sort of what I
daylight
said.
saving.
And then he got us started.
Yeah! So
And
you're getting highlights anyway.
Yeah,
without
sort of.
having to read it.
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, daylight saving sucks. Like, it actually messes with your health.
Yep.
And in the fall, everybody's health improves because you get an extra hour of sleep. In the spring, all sorts of, like, health problems crop up, like heart disease and all sorts of accidents because you're sleep deprived. Just, like, a ridiculous number of bad things happen. And the current political currents are to make daylight savings permanent.
Which is the opposite
Which is
of what
the
you should do.
opposite of like of what our bodies need. And
What if you were miserable year-round instead of half of the year?
And
it's for capitalist reasons.
Yeah, it is.
It's to extend work hours.
And I hate them so much.
It's
When I get really, like, irate when I think about this. But he is very much enjoying the book. He likes learning things that make him irate. Sometimes.
Some
That's
people
not
like
all
to
true.
be mad.
It's
like my dad. My dad keeps trying to get me to listen to some Supreme Court podcast. Not the Supreme Court, but like a podcast that's about ripping apart the Supreme Court. Something like 5 versus 4 or 5.
Oh, God.
I forget what it is. But he's like, oh, it'll make you so mad. Like, that's like a fun and good thing. And I'm like, you don't understand how I want to spend my day.
I spend most of my day trying to not be mad about the Supreme Court. Like,
there's a very fine line to walk between informed and just mad all the time. And I don't like being on the wrong side of that line, yeah.
Oh, God. Although I texted you and Laura, our number one fan, Laura, this, when the picture of Samuel Alito on his fancy fishing trip came out, I immediately texted our group chat and was like, this photo is exactly like the kind of rich person hunting trip that happens at the beginning of the Absolute book.
Literally.
But, like, literally. That's how the main character meets the guy who, like, contract kills her. You guys have...
Yeah.
We did a whole episode on it.
We can't do it again.
I can't escape that book.
That one's by Elizabeth Knox.
Yes, and it lives rent-free in my head.
Yep, and now in mine.
I don't know how long it's gonna live there, but it'll probably be there for a while.
Every once in a while, something's just gonna happen. We're both gonna look at each other and be like,
I hope to God one of these things that happens involves a crocodile.
yeah. I went to the zoo the other week and we saw the crocodiles and I was like, delighted.
Do you have a pass?
I do now.
Oh, I need to get a pass. We should go.
Yeah. And see the baby leopards before they're not babies
anymore. They grow up so fast.
Or we'll have to wait
Are they
years
Amber?
for the next. Yeah, those are the Amber leopards.
They have a really good
If you
exhibit.
live in San Diego,
Yeah.
or even if you don't live in San Diego and want to come to San Diego to see the leopards while they're still babies, I mean, we can't get you in, but just come to San Diego, go to the zoo, and go find... It's funny because the babies are not in the exhibit labeled Amber leopards.
Really?
They're in the exhibit that's just labeled leopard. But
interesting.
They're there. And there are Amber leopards in the Amber leopard exhibit too. But the dad and the mom and the babies are over in Africa Rocks.
That's amazing.
And they're so cute.
I do want to
go first thing in the morning or in the evening.
I think they have summer hours starting soon.
Yep. If they haven't already. Anyway.
Not book related.
Not book related, but that's where our park is. Okay.
So we did the
you went
Dead Duke, his secret wife, and the missing corpse.
Yep.
And then we met a bunch of like independently published authors. Local
Oh, actually,
authors.
first I ended up
Oh, yeah.
in the graphic novel tent. One of the tents just had a bunch of different graphic novels.
Yeah, there were several.
And the one I found is a graphic novel anthology called The Color of Always, which is an LGBTQIA+ love anthology, edited by Brent Fisher and Michele Abounader. Anyway, it looks freaking adorable. It's a, like, really short, because it's a graphic novel, and each story is only part of the graphic novel, and there are several of them, so they're, like, a few pages
It's an
apiece.
anthology, right?
Yeah, and it's an anthology, so... And it's happy, queer
And
love.
colorful.
The flutter of first dates, the thrill of a text back, the heart-stopping seconds before coming out, and the rush when finally discovering who you truly are.
Aww.
So special. Anyway, it looks freaking adorable, so I just grabbed it. This was, again, at the beginning when I was like, this is a good, cute, safe purchase. I could do one book.
I can stop whenever I want.
I can stop whenever I want. And then we didn't.
Couldn't.
And
So-
then we stumbled across all these independent
Right, and so
local
these
authors.
people, I think most of the ones we talked to were women, but, like, it was pretty equal.
Right.
It was mostly 2 to a tent.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and talk to one. Obviously, you have to talk to the other one, too.
Yeah.
But their book.
And they were mostly romance authors.
Yeah. I don't know if the Rage one is romance.
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
The Rage one.
They're the Rage one.
You knew what I was talking about.
Maybe not. What's it
Here.
Vengeance Becomes Her.
By Alexis C. Maness. And it's a plus-size narrator. And there's this...
Oh, maybe it's not romance.
this photo print that came with it of the main character in black and white, and she's holding a heart. So that's what this is about. I'm very excited.
The first line in the book description on Goodreads that made me say maybe this isn't a romance is just, he will regret awakening the monster within me.
Yes, he
So
will.
the opposite, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a vengeance trip. I'm excited. Rage, dark magic, and desire. So maybe there is a...
Oh yeah, so there's something in here about
Yeah.
spicy scenes.
Cool. So that was one. Vengeance Becomes Her. Very red and black cover. Love it. And another...
Yeah, the covers pretty
is
much across the
intense.
board were kind of delightful.
Yeah, that's true. What else? I got The Impractical Guide to Satyr Charming.
Oh yeah.
Which is, like, very cozy, I think. But
Yeah,
the cover
that's-
makes it look very cozy.
That's by Cynthia Diamond, and I got another one by her called Siren Song.
That one looks pretty badass.
Yeah, she was fun to talk to. And yours is a satyr romance, and mine is a half-blooded siren and a 900-year-old dragon.
Do you know what? I think that's... No, that's not true. I was going to say, I think that's the same age as the dragon in those
I was thinking that
Thea
too.
Harrison books. But no, he's much older than 900 years old. But yeah, so she does... Cynthia Diamond, she does monster romances.
Yeah.
Which... They're not like... I mean, like, there are monster romances, and then there are monster romances. And mostly these days, there is a difference in cover.
Yes.
So, like...
So you know what you're getting
So you know what you're getting into. Which is very helpful.
Yes. Because I do like a huge dollop of, like, fluff and...
Right.
Maybe a little plot to go.
Siren Song doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of fluff. But,
Well,
like,
you
it
know,
doesn't
like-
look like it's going to be dark.
Sweet, cozy, like,
yes. Guaranteed HEA. I mean,
Sure.
like that's...
Yeah.
HEA is happily ever after.
Yeah.
Do you know, the other day I don't remember why we were talking about this, but I taught my mother what PNR stands for. Paranormal Romance. I have no memory of why we were talking about it, but I said it enough times that, like, she was like, it's okay, you can call it PNR. And I was like, holy shit. I wish I knew what we were talking about. It's gone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well.
You're talking about P&R.
Yeah. Which sounds
when
weird when you say it out loud.
It sounds bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
I don't
good.
know why, but it sounds bad.
It looks fine in print.
Yes.
Also, I just realized you can probably hear again, my dog is snoring.
Sweet buddy.
I mean, like, this is very deep breathing. The other day, he was snoring like a jackhammer. It was incredible.
You should have recorded it.
I tried. It won't.
Oh, right.
But, like,
next time.
I think the only person I heard snore like that is probably my grandmother. She snores like a rhino. Or she did.
In animal, we all classify bird snore. How I imagine a rhino.
Yes.
Would sound.
Actually, I don't think rhinos really snore.
There's only one way to find out.
They sleep in puppy piles and fart all night long. Ask me how I know this.
How do you know that?
So, when I was in elementary and middle school, I was a very proficient Girl Scout cookie seller. And I hit all of the, like, fancy awards. I went swimming with dolphins. I got to do the roar and snore at the Wild Animal Park.
The what?
The roar in snore.
What is the roar and snore?
It's at the safari park, they call it now. And you get to spend the night in a tent next to their, like, open exhibit of various parts of Africa. And then in the morning, which comes, like, super early. Morning is, like, 6 a.m. Breakfast at 6 a.m. And I was so unhappy to be awake. But they took us to this, like, cafe restaurant thing right next to where we were sleeping. Okay. And as the sun rose, a family of cheetahs, including babies, came to, like, frolic next to the window.
What the fuck?
I know. And I, like...
First of all, I didn't know there were cheetahs up there. Are there still cheetahs up there? I guess.
Yeah. Because they do the, like, demonstration runs. Those are wild. Those are insane.
I still have never made it up to the safari park.
When I have a pass,
all
we have to do is pay for parking.
Yeah, that's what everyone says in that exact same derogatory tone.
Because parking's like...
all we have to do is pay for parking.
$20-$25 a car now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've heard the move is to carpool like crazy. Yeah.
Store someone in the trunk. Someone alive, obviously.
Wow, if only
we took a dead body to the safari
transport system that went to the freaking safari park and the zoo. Honestly, it's insane that they don't have some sort of between the zoo and the safari park transport.
You haven't been to the safari park?
No, not at all.
It is so far out in the boonies.
But, like, they could arrange...
Sorry, Escondido, it's the boonies.
You're far. But they could arrange, like an optional, like, if you get to the zoo and park at the zoo and catch an early bus.
I could see them doing a bus.
Like, obviously a trolley would be insane unless it was part of unless our trolley system actually covered all of freaking San Diego. But a bus...
I don't
and then you wouldn't have to pay for
park
parking.
Even in the city of San Diego, it's like way out there.
I doubt that.
Way out there.
Anyway.
Beyond the vineyards. And...
So rhinos. Presumably there was also a pile of rhinos.
They stink to high heaven.
While you're sleeping or early in the morning while you're...
All night long. All night long. And they look so cute, all piled together, and they're all, like, happy to be with their family, and then they fart.
And they ruin it.
Fart, and fart, and fart, and fart, and you can hear it in your tent sometimes.
Wow. You gotta process that food. Your gut biome's hard at work. Now we all know.
Now we all know.
Fun animal facts with ITBR.
And I just had the very depressing fact that I think there are fewer rhinos there now than there were when I was 13-ish. They have a baby rhino there this year. It's the cutest. Like, rhinos aren't built to frolic, but baby rhinos manage it.
Oh, no.
It's so
that
cute.
Sounds so
It's
precious.
Amazing. And of course he's like a ton.
Right, yeah.
Like, he's
we frolic.
He weighs more than my car as a newborn. Anyway, so we're gonna go to the safari park at some point.
Anyway, yeah.
Where did that come from? Monster romances.
Somehow we got there.
Yeah.
Monster.
I had fun looking at everybody's covers. All these
all
what
the
people
covers were.
Like it's
some of them
one
had
thing when
stickers.
you go to Barnes and Noble and you look at the covers because those have like actual marketing departments and data behind them.
Yeah.
But like independent.
It's fun to see what people do when, like, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, when they can get the vibes they want, when they're on their own budget. I mean, like, the Impractical Guide to Satyr Charming is adorable. It's very much illustrated. There are no faces.
I thought you meant, like, the book was illustrated, and I was like, there are illustrations.
No, the cover of that book is illustrated.
Gotcha. Yes.
But, like, these other ones, Lucy Laroux, Don't Touch.
Which one's that one? What's that about?
That one, it's called a Seven Families novel, so I assume it's, like, magic and rich people. Because there's a woman, well-dressed, with fancy coiffed hair on the cover. And I think there's a cigarette floating around, and a cell phone, and an ashtray.
I like the floating.
So this main character is what is it called? A psychometrist?
Psychometrist, yeah. Psychometrist.
Anyway,
Never
you
heard that
touch
shit
things
out loud.
and you get, like, their psychic residue or whatever. And I bought my first book with a man chest on the cover. That's like a genre of covers, man chest covers. It's a little novella. It should be fun. There's, like a surprise wolf cub.
Oh yeah, that's the accidental wolf cub acquisition one.
Also, they're not called cubs though, they're puppies.
Did you say what that one's called?
I did not. That one is also by Lucy Laroux, but I think it's her other pen name. L.B. Gilbert, and it's called Kin Selection.
In general, they're puppies, not cubs?
Yeah.
More fun facts with
I know some weird stuff. And then, what about your other ones?
So my one's from the indie local authors. I got this chunker called Woodborn by Heather Nix. And this was one that caught my eye because there was a print in their stand that had, I don't know, it was the two characters, and one of them just, like, looked really shy and precious, and I was like, I'm really about whatever this vibe is. What is this? And then she said, gay pirates and Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, say what now? Okay. And the cover is pretty, and there were some cute stickers out front with the characters that just looked really precious, and it looks sweet, and I'm about that. And then I picked up one I've been eyeing for a while, which is The Eighth Key by Laura Weyr, and that's a Hugo Award finalist.
Is it?
Yeah. And I think that's also Dungeons and Dragon vibes.
The Eighth Key? Oh no, she is, not that book.
Oh, I thought it was this book. It's her first full-length novel. But yeah, it does say 3-time Hugo finalist, so maybe not.
Yeah, so it's
something
definitely...
else.
That's cool, though.
But yeah, anyway, it looks cute. There's a bard and a shy mage.
That sounds like fun.
I'm easy. And then with that, they were having a deal where if you bought more than one from their press, that press tent...
Yeah, it's a publisher, a small publisher.
Right. You'd get a discount, and they had a Marie Vibbert who wrote Galactic Hellcats, which we both read. And it's called The Gods Awoke, and I probably wouldn't have...
I almost thought you said The Gods of Woke, and I was like... I didn't realize it was such a political statement.
A different book. That would be a
satire. That would be a very
Can you
different
imagine?
book. I can. I bet it would be banned.
That'd be so funny. Oh my god. No, the gods awoke, as in they woke up. And I probably wouldn't have gotten it because Galactic Hellcats was so stressful for me. I was really vibing with that one of the characters who was just like stressed out the whole time. And I was like, yes, you get it. But it seemed interesting.
And Marie Vibbert is a known quantity.
Exactly.
It's not going to be a bad book.
And it was good. It was well written. I just was stressed out the whole time. So I was like... And it's not too long, and we both enjoyed it.
Seemed interesting.
Yeah. So why not? And those were my... I think that's actually it for me for... Oh no, that's a lie. That's it for the rest of the self-published local.
And then we went back to the Mysterious Galaxy tent.
Oops.
And I bought one more book called Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And as I was checking out, the woman was like, there's a content warning in the front. Take note. This is a very affecting book. Just be ready. And it's about transness and haunted houses and...
Seemed like a very...
It's gonna be intense.
Seemed like a devastating smack.
Yes. Yeah. So the whole premise is that, like, 3 friends spent the night in a haunted house a while back, and only 2 of them came out, and now they're going back in to try to find the 3rd one. And I was looking through the front bits as you were talking, and there are, what are they called, epigraphs? Where there are excerpts from other books at the beginning of your book.
Oh, right.
And one of them, okay, so there are 2 of them. One of them is from Everybody Wants to Be a Fascist by Felix Guattari. But the other one is an excerpt from Helicopter Story by Isabel Fall. And I know this won't mean anything to you, Gabby, but there was a massive dust-up in the SFF world when the Helicopter Story came out. Issue 160, it doesn't say when. But, like, there's this theory... It's not a theory. There's this stupid meme on ultra-right websites about how gender is a helicopter, right? Like, what? If anybody can be any gender, that means objects can be genders, and bad faith arguments, and so on and so forth. And I might be butchering that because I am not going to go look that up myself.
Sure.
But I guess that's, like, a thing people know that the ultra-right does. And so this woman, Isabel Fall, which is a pseudonym, wrote a story called Attack Helicopter. And Clark's World, which is a very prestigious short story magazine, published it. And the backlash was fucking insane. There was backlash to the backlash. And I didn't get to read the story. It was ultimately taken down pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah. So what happened, to my recollection... take it with a grain of salt.
Sure.
What happened is Clark's World published Helicopter Story, and the pseudonym had something like very basic and weird, like Isabel Fall was born in 1983, and that was it. So people took Helicopter Story to be literally like a right-wing propaganda thing where this helicopter has a gender instead of an exploration of gender through this idea of empire and war and naming things.
Okay, I thought it started as a backlash from the right wing.
Now it started from, like, the lefties. And then...
It's available online.
Is it?
Maybe. It says, it looks like the full text of a short that says, I sexually identify as an attack helicopter.
Yeah.
By Isabel Fall.
Yeah.
It looks like it's on, well, it's gwern.net, but it's showing up in what looks like the Clark's World website.
That's very weird.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. Last time I went looking for it, I couldn't find it. So it was taken down for a while, at least. While.
There's like an archive. It's like an archive.today webpage capture thing.
Okay.
Anyway, it was the first thing that came up when I Googled it.
So...
January 2020.
It was a giant clusterfuck.
Amazing.
Is it January 2020? God, that doesn't explain anything.
Nope.
It came out of nowhere. And like, I was on Twitter quite a lot in January 2020. I missed most of this. And so there's this backlash against Clark's World for publishing it. And, oh God, it was such a disaster. Basically, they chased a mob. I think there were several mobs, but one of them chased Neon Yang off the internet.
This is part of this?
Social, yeah.
Wow.
Off social media, because they accused Neon Yang of leading the first mob who sent Isabel Fall not only off the internet, but back into the closet as a trans person. I don't know how so much of this ended.
Big yikes.
But, like, to include that as the beginning, that excerpt of that story as the beginning of Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt is an indicator that she is not fucking around with this story.
No punches are getting pulled.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'm waiting for the day you hand that to me and you're like, you have to read it though. It's so good. And I'm going to be like,
no, I probably will. I probably will at some point. Today I handed her a book called Night Wherever We Go by Tracey Rose Payton. And it is...
And we have pretty much that exact
exchange.
It's not fantasy. Yay!
And that was another one I got my mother to read. It's 5 enslaved women in Texas.
She liked it too.
Yeah, because it's amazing. It's an amazing story. It's told from the plural first person. So it's these 5 enslaved women who are telling a story together. And so we were brought out to Texas, etc., etc., until we branch off into somebody's more specific experience. Like, we were brought to Texas, but Nan had to go into the kitchen and deal with the little shit's kid. Anyway, so they call their, quote-unquote owners the Lucys after Lucifer. So there's Mrs. Lucy and Mr. Lucy, even though they actually have other names that are used and stuff. But, like, it's this whole story of women who don't usually get a voice in fiction, and they're such distinct voices, and it's brutal in a really good way. I can't say too much without spoiling it. I'm struggling here. But it's beautiful writing, and it's stories that should be told more often, and that should reach a wider audience. And
a wider and a wider.
Aww. But wider and whiter. It's just such a good book, and like something that like sticks with you because it's just different beyond the fact that it's not fantasy.
Right.
It's the prose is beautiful. The stories are moving and enthralling. That's
You have that look in your eye.
I know. It's such a good book. I can't recommend it enough. Okay. And it's a quick read too.
Uh-huh.
It's like under.
It's gonna have to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I may not get through it.
You can't like marinate in this. It moves fast. Cool. But you have to be feeling strong to read it. Anyway, so what? Why were we talking? I handed you a book that you made a face.
Right.
And then I was talking.
Yeah, we were talking about books that you're gonna love, and then hand to me and go, you have to though, and I'm gonna go.
She still took it out of my hands though.
I mean, I trust you. I know what's up.
I'm looking out for you. So that's Tell Me I'm Worthless. I am
terrified.
Fascinated. I'm just not terrified. I am super excited.
I'm terrified. So that was Mysterious Galaxy.
That was our last Mysterious Galaxy thing, and then we went to
I went to Mysterious Galaxy.
Oh yeah, you got more stuff.
And I went into a fugue state.
I don't know what happened.
I meant to just get The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, which is another graphic novel.
Adorable.
About Lady Camembert. Who wants to live her life without marrying a man. But the law of the land is that family fortunes can only be passed down to women.
Bullshit.
So, when her dad dies...
Wait, they can only be passed down to women?
Cannot be passed down to women.
I passed judgment and then was like, wait a minute!
Yeah. Rewind. So when her dad dies, she disguises herself as a man and moves to the capital city as Count Camembert.
Okay.
And in the kingdom of fromage. It's killing me.
Let's do fromage.
But then she meets Princess Brie, who gets her attention, and then they, start side-eyeing each other.
It's adorable!
And it's like, oh, am I gonna keep up this pretense? And it just looks cute.
It's so cute.
Very hilariously, if I read it this year, will be the second book I read this year where it has to do with a princess and grilled cheese. And if I had a nickel for every book I ended up with this year, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't much, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Readers will devour this romantic comedy about mistaken identity, true love, and lots of grilled cheese.
Nom, 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 nom.
I want to read this. I'll hit you over the head, and by the time you wake up, I'll have finished it.
Oh. It's like
there was a weird pause in there.
You can just barf it. It's fine. You don't have to knock me out, I promise. And then I saw The Cat Who Saved... The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwiches by Dea Muniz. Muniz? It seems like... Well, it's spelled Muniz.
Muniz, probably. Keep going!
Sorry.
I want to hear about the others!
Sorry, my brain stopped.
I'm so excited!
And then I got The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa. And that is one that I've just been eyeing forever, and it finally came out in paperback. So I grabbed it, because it looks stinking cute. It's about a talking cat that shows up to this teenager for help to save books from abusive and negligent owners.
Yes!
It looks sweet. And then Smack pointed to A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair and said, "Do you have that one yet?"
And just for reference, I have been looking at the cover of this thing probably once a week for the last month.
Me too, but I thought it was the sequel to another book with a similar cover. So I kept seeing A Broken Blade, and I kept not getting it. And I think I was probably thinking of the hardcover when it first came out.
I was thinking it looks very similar to the cover for Vespertine by...
It does, but it's definitely, I wouldn't have been.
Margaret
I wouldn't have
Rogers?
Yes, Margaret Rogerson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I made that mistake
one I
once.
have.
But, like, I almost bought A Broken Blade about 6 times. And I know the library has it, but it's just so pretty.
It's so pretty, looks so awesome. So I've avoided buying it so far because I just keep being like, I need to find the first one. And then Smack was like, no, that's not the sequel.
That is the first
That is
one.
the first one. And I was like,
Don't you
no.
want it? Don't you want it? Don't you love that
And
cover?
her eyes on the cover are silver and shiny, and she has a brooch with a sword that's silver and shiny, and the text is gold and shiny.
And she's like an assassin who
so
like learns that she's been on the wrong side or something. Yeah, lots of fun.
Yay. And then that was the book fair, and then we escaped to the book fair, and definitely didn't buy any more.
We got ice cream. That was like...
That's true, we had an ice cream break.
Yep. And then we went to Meet Cute, the romance bookshop, about 3 blocks away.
Yeah. I went there for... It was supposed to be a targeted run. I was going there for one book.
And I was like, oh, nobody will be in there. It'll be nice to just look at what they have. Gabby buys books. I have self-control.
Self-control.
You're so clever. So
I went in to get my one book, which is Sword Dance by A.J. Demas.
That's what you came... I thought that was like an afterthought.
Oh no, that's what I went there for. And that's the one that I got for Maria for her birthday that I almost didn't give her because I was like, I want it for myself, actually. And that's one about a NB eunuch sword dancer and a grumpy, retired military veteran. Just, being adorable. We got, mutual dislike, which, of course, means they're adorable together, actually. And political shenanigans, and anyway, it looks stinking cute.
Very much looks like your cup of tea.
Speaking of tea, immediately upon walking into Meet Cute, before I even got to, because the sword dance is at the back of the store, I knew exactly where it was. I could have just walked straight for it.
That's so dangerous, though, the back of the store. By the time I've made it to the back of the store, they have this table where they wrap up books and give, 3 bullet points of, what it's about, and then the price is on the back, and you have to just guess.
Yep. Blind
Are these tropes something you'll enjoy? Probably.
Almost certainly. But at the front of the store right now, they have a pirates table.
Yeah.
With all of their pirate romances. And including A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca
T-E-A.
Thorne. Yeah, T-E-A.
Which is the sequel to You Can't Spell Tea Without Treason, right?
Yes. And they look like cozy fantasy.
The titles alone.
Right? Like I said, I'm easy. It's not hard to hack my brain, and they've successfully hacked my brain. Good job.
Yep. What else did you do?
That's not it.
Not all.
Then I actually walked by the sequel. The sequel is what caught my eye, which is, I don't remember what it's called, but the first one is How Not to Date a Demon.
Not is crossed out.
Yeah, how it crossed out, because obviously they end up dating. That's by Lena Cole, Kole. And that's this woman has a boyfriend, and she's, sick of cleaning up after him. And, like, it's some suspicious things. Like, there's the usual, like, boyfriends aren't worth it things. Like, there are dirty socks on the floor and dishes left behind. But also he brought home 3 black puppies and, the puppy's eyes glow red, which seems suspicious. And then his shirts end up in the hamper with, like, tears on the back. And he does, like, weird things, like chanting in the middle of the living room sometimes. And so she hatches this plan to find out, is her boyfriend a vampire or werewolf? What's going on? So it looks very silly.
Delightful.
Delightful. And it's really short. I'm sure it's super cute.
Yeah, it's practically novella length.
Yeah. And then I managed to grab Sword Dance. And then I was like, cool, I'm going to get to the cash register now. And then Smack handed me one of these blind dates. Don't judge a book by its cover is the thing they slap on it. And the blurb is, urban fantasy, autistic main character. He's been living a quiet life as a medical examiner, carefully hiding his powers as a necromancer, until a charming detective ropes him into investigating a nun's mysterious death and then inconveniently drops dead himself. So much for keeping his powers a secret. Now he just has to keep from romancing the reanimated. And I haven't opened it yet. And we're gonna open it right now! We're gonna open it now! Oh, you know what? I think this is on my TBR. Yay!
What is it?
It's The Reanimator's Heart by Kara Jorgensen. Or Kara.
Excellent.
Jorgensen. Love me some necromancers accidentally bringing people back from the dead.
Oops.
And then I escaped. Oh my god, the paragraph.
I want it known that I was the first one out of the store. I was, like, out.
The section breaks some cute little skulls.
That's adorable. So cute. That's probably custom.
Anyway, yeah, Smack.
I got out.
Got out.
Not without bleeding money everywhere. Although, to be fair, what started this is I went over to their Books for Writers section and I found, well, first I found How to Write Erotica by Rachel Kramer Bussell. Bussell? B-U-S-S-E-L. And I have a pen name. A super secret pen name.
Super secret pen name.
And no, I won't tell you what it is.
It took me years just for me to find out what it was.
And that was honestly because, like, I needed help with the cover.
Yeah, and I think you were too lazy to, like, blur it out or whatever.
Title placement, author name placement, and I was just kind of like, well. So, no one but Gabby and our number one fan, Laura.
Yes.
I mean, like, I had told her again. I guess I could have, like, not told her.
Oh, yeah,
again.
fully.
But I
forgot.
needed more cover help today. So, How to Write Erotica. We'll see if I'm doing it right.
It's too late.
It is too late. It's already up. And then I saw one called 20 Master Plots and How to Build Them by Ronald B. Tobias. And I thought, that's dumb. And then I thought, wait a minute. This is how you write trope stuff. This is how you figure out how to categorize what you've already written so that you can create an elevator pitch. What's your book about? Oh, there's a... Let's see.
Which we were also talking about today.
Yes. Master plot number 3. Pursuit. We're on the run from such and such. Master plot number 14. Love. That's just any romance. That one's dumb. Master plot number 11. Metamorphosis. I don't think they mean, like, shape-shifting, but...
They mean turning into a cockroach.
They don't not mean shape-shifting.
They don't not mean monster romance, is what we're saying. They wrote that with that in mind.
Exactly that one. Thank you, Ronald.
I mean, love, pursuit, metamorphosis. That's a monster
That's a monster romance. Yeah, so I thought, you know, that could only help. And then I tore myself away and was like, they had like 4 titles in the Books for Writers section, and I almost bought all of them. So I got 2, and then I tore myself away and was like, okay, I'll be fine. I'll just wander through the fantasy section.
I'll be fine. I'll just wander through the fantasy section.
Which, out loud sounds insane. But at the moment, I was like, I've seen all their titles, nothing that is new there, like, nothing will tempt me because I already know what's there.
That's how I feel every time I walk into either Mysterious Galaxy or me. I'm like, surely, this is the time. I've been here so many times, I know everything they have, I have everything already.
Everything I could possibly want, I already own it. Turns out, like, over and over and over, it's embarrassing, but also hilarious and wonderful, because then you get new books.
Yay!
So I ended up with The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford.
Which is a Fae one, right?
I think so.
Fae romance?
Yep. The main character is a red witch. Doesn't say what that is. Probably either fire or, like, body stuff.
Blood.
Yeah, maybe both.
Necromance.
Yeah. And then trying to stop a war. Need a red witch to stop a war.
Sure.
Can't trust anybody.
Dun, dun.
We were talking about this earlier, but it's like this perfect heft.
Yeah.
Trade paperback, so it's like a little bendy. And just a nice weight. It's just pleasant to hold.
I will say, in our defense, everything I got today,
Thanks!
except for your very special present, was paperback.
I cannot say that. Both of my
But for the most part,
there were 3. One of them was only $5.
so there you go. Like,
The
that
other
basically
2,
offsets a hardcover.
Yeah. The other 2 were the first Mysterious Galaxy trip, and I thought, well, I've got 2 hardcovers, now I have to quit.
I will say the only reason I didn't walk away from Mysterious Galaxy with a hardcover was because they didn't have the one hardcover I was looking for, which is The Wishing Game, which is a new book that's like Westing Game, but adds some fantasy and romance to it, by
That
Meg
sounds
Schaefer.
I don't even remember what the Westing Game was about, but I read it as a kid, and I know it was great.
Yep. Loved it. I really wish I hated it as a kid, and that we read it in high school so I could read it for Mysterious Galaxies.
As a reminder to our listeners, not readers, Mysterious Galaxy bookstore in San Diego is doing a year-long... It's not bingo, because there are 50.
And you can't fit 50 into a square.
But, like, they have, like, this whole checklist of types of books to read.
Yeah.
And one of them is reading a book you hated in high school.
Yeah.
And surprise, I've read 76 books this year, and none of them have been books I hated in high school.
We're both avoiding them.
So much avoidance.
So yeah,
that was it.
that was it. That's all.
That's all. There's
It only
nothing
took
more.
us an hour.
Oh my god.
We're fine.
We're fine.
normal.
Here's hoping that you have a Scholastic Book Fair vibes, aesthetic, whatever. Here's hoping you find your own adult, not like adult, but like Scholastic Book Fair for
equivalent
for
you.
Not for your 4-year-old.
Here's hoping
I
you
guess-
get to relive the feeling
Thank you.
that you felt going to the Scholastic Book Fair as a child.
Oh my god. I tried so hard.
You did. I'm definitely going to keep all those attempts in.
This has been another episode of Infinite TBR. You can find us on our Twitter at Infinite TBR.
And we are individually on Twitter as @WhatSmackSaid and @Gabalodon, which is like Megalodon, but Gab in the front of it. And you can find all our show notes at InfiniteTBR.com. If you have book recommendations for us or questions you want answered during the podcast, feel free to email us at itbrshelf@gmail.com.